There.
All right, here we go. Well, once again, we are here in our space and time. Yes, I'm tired. I want to welcome you guys to a new episode of Just My Opinion. I'm the Spiritual Stud.
And I am MT, baby.
And I want to say, first of all, that I got a new addition to the family.
Yes.
And she's a 1-year-old, and she's a handful. And when you old, you have wisdom, but you don't have that energy. But it's all good because she's fun. And then on the other hand, I lost my best friend.
Yes.
Yes, my little dog Gussie is no more. And I have to tell you, I cried like a baby.
I know.
I cried like a baby. My wife was like, she was
it's so sad.
Yeah, it was a sad situation. But then, she was like, well, maybe he was just holding on to the baby cave.
Yeah.
Because, she was really taking care of him, so to give her some kind of stability and, recognizing that you're responsible for something now, and now she's responsible for the baby. So, in any case, rest in peace, little dude.
Yes, little Gussie. My favorite sweet baby.
Yeah, little fur baby. All right. Now, on to the people in the path of Miss Irma. Miss Irma is a beast.
She ain't playing with you.
Man, she just a 2 now. They said she's downgraded
She's
to
down
a
to
2.
a 2 already?
She's a 2, but...
Good. That's because she hit land.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
But if she slow down, that's when it's bad. She needs to speed up. Move on through. Move on through, Irma. Keep it going. And Jose, you need to stay where you are.
Right.
We don't need you to come on. We got enough going on. So, anyway, to everybody that's in the path of Miss Irma, we keeping you lifted up, and you guys get out of there. Get out. Just really, come on.
I mean, at this point, though, I'm hoping and praying that the damage is minimal.
Right.
And people have hunkered down in their homes. I got a friend, and she was like, nope, we ain't leaving. I can't find no gas. I'm not about to drive. Where we gonna go?
Yeah.
So, they hunkered down, but luckily, she's on the east side.
Okay, well, she's, yeah.
So, they were
because Irma's going west.
Just to imagine a storm bigger than the state.
Right.
That to me is just mind blowing. It's covering. Everybody gonna get it. At some point in time.
They're gonna get something.
It just depends on the level of severity that you get. Yeah. But just to wash across the whole state, that is just like, wow.
Well, they were talking
That's
about.
huge.
I was listening to NPR, and they were talking about how Tampa was supposed to get it, right?
Yeah.
And the mayor was like, we've been avoiding this for so many years, and now it looks like we're in the eye of it all. It's going to hit us. And lo and behold, no, Irma is not dropping water, but Irma's sucking their water up.
Isn't that something?
I know. I'm like,
that's crazy. I saw a video of them, on the beach where the water had gone out for just as far as you can see. The water was just gone.
Yeah.
Now that's scary.
Ain't it?
That's scary because
if
she sucked it up at some point,
it's gonna come down.
It's gonna come back down.
Well, where is she gonna dump it? That's the question, right? So, and then I got one more thing to say.
What's that?
Okay, so I'm in school. I got this Christian class. Well, we've been, how there's been a lot of people saying God is angry and attributing the hurricanes and all this. Okay, so in my class, we had to write a paper, and I looked up a scripture, and in this scripture, Jesus is talking to his disciples and to the people. I think he's teaching, and he says, they're like, well, when will the end of days be, right? And he says, well, when you hear of wars and rumors of wars, do not be afraid. That will happen. That is not the end of days. So I was
right.
Okay. He's like, nature will happen. So for everybody who's attributing this to God's anger,
right,
things happen. Right. Nature will happen. And man has done a lot to bring this about. So for me, I'm like, if the world's going to end, the world's going to end.
Yeah.
But trust and believe, it's been ending since Jesus was down here saying that, you who hear me talk now will live to see the end.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Right.
I'm just saying. That's the word.
Yeah.
And I'm not putting words in his mouth. But in any case, that's all I want to say.
That's interesting because I've heard a lot of that too. This is the wrath of God. But, I believe that God, the source, created a system. A sustainable system for us all to live in. When you think of the Garden of Eden, they had every life-sustaining thing they needed.
Right.
They had the food, they had water, they had shelter, they had, this ecosystem that we live in is supposed to be self-sustaining.
Right.
And the problem is, for the deniers of any type of climate change or whatever, the problem is that trash bag that you throw away, that metal can that you throw away, it goes into the system, and we honestly have not been careful about our system. We just haven't.
We haven't. No.
It's just now in the past 10 to 20 years that people have started caring. But if you look at, because it brings, my thought processes goes back to the Native Americans that were here in America before, Western European and all these other people came and colonized. And the main thing about Thanksgiving was that the Native Americans were teaching. They were teaching people how to work the land. They were teaching them how to grow crops, how to take care of animals so that the land wouldn't be depleted.
Right.
And it could replenish. If you're a farmer, you know that you've got to do certain things.
Right.
And you've got to work the ground and the land so that that crop is successful, but not only that, the next year's crop is successful. And you got to continually do these things so that we replenish what we take away.
Right.
But if you're not careful, the earth, I really feel like the earth is crying out.
Yeah.
Because it's like, listen to me.
Right.
I'm hurting here.
Yeah,
I'm hurting here. And so I got to make y'all pay attention to me. Because, and wildfires and all these type of things. A lot of this stuff is because we're not careful with our environment, and I don't believe that has anything to do with the wrath of God. I think it has everything to do with the fact that he gave us this beautiful earth for us to enjoy, and we didn't take care of it.
There you go.
It's just like a child. You give them an expensive toy. Next thing you see, the toy is beat up.
Right.
Sitting in a corner somewhere.
Right.
And it's like, look, didn't I spend all this money? And they look at you like, what? I done moved on to the next toy.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
so but this earth, we've got to pay attention and take care. And I was, one more little side note. The last time I was in Florida, my good friend had taken me to a little community in Florida, not too far from Anna Maria Island, that is a green community. And it doesn't have that many people living there. Population's probably less than 500.
Okay.
But it's a green, sustainable community. And so they've got the solar power, they've got wind power, they've got special, even their little strip mall, even the toilets, are made, and the lights go dim when you're not using them and things like that. And it's like, wow, if we could do this on a big scale, man.
Unfortunately, people can't see how they can make money doing that.
That's the problem.
That's where it is.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
because just think, I would like a lower gas and electric bill.
Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't want that?
But we'll see what happens in the future. But I personally feel like it's just the earth crying out. Like, hey, come on now, y'all. All these cars driving on me, spitting out emissions and stuff.
Driving
And,
on me.
she's like, I'm sick
Flying in my air.
Right.
All these planes flying in my air. Dropping pee and whatever into my ocean. What's wrong with you people? And on top of that, all you developers are getting rid of the green spaces. So, like this teacher, Marianne Williamson, was saying, she grew up in Houston. In her day, they had a lot of green space.
Yeah.
And it would flood.
Yeah.
But because they had that green space, it would divert the water. So it never ever flooded the houses and things like that. Now it's flat, it's asphalt. There's nowhere, there's nothing to really divert that water. So of course it's just gonna sit and go into the houses and it's like we have not learned, and they just continue to build, and after a while you look and you're like, there is no greenery, and then they start putting fake greenery out there, because well, man, we need a little park somewhere around here, Right. What is wrong with you?
I know.
My
my coworker and I were talking about this just the other day, because she was saying the exact same thing. That, it would only take one hurricane for me to move. I feel bad for anybody in the storm's path. This is not your fault, But like New Orleans, it's already under sea level.
Right.
Like it's already below sea level.
Right.
So you're going to put a house right there in an area that you already know has storms and hurricanes, and it's under sea level. You know what I mean? So they were talking about in Florida, there's this is low-lying area. Why is there apartment complexes and houses on it if it's low-lying area?
You're in the floodplain.
Yeah, but they got to squeeze all them folk in there. I say start moving them up towards the north. Get up there. All that Montana. Is there anybody in Montana?
Montana
has one person in Montana.
Montana has so much empty land.
Right.
So much. Now, I know it belongs to people, but I'm just saying it's just so much empty, because we drove through it. But believe me, that's a big state.
Yeah.
It take a long time to get through Montana. And when you this color, you're like, woo, just hurry up and get through. Hurry up. But man, there's so much green there, and it's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Well, I mean, that's what, and you think about our forefathers and the early pioneers.
Yeah,
they had to go to where the resources was. Now we gotta go to where we're safe. You know what I mean? Because when they was going west, head west, young man. When they was headed west, it was for greater opportunities, more farming, more all that kind of stuff. Because down there, they was like, this ain't working down here. This ecosystem ain't working for me. Let me get to where it's gonna work. Get. So, if you are displaced, maybe you think about moving north.
It's cold.
Yeah.
That's why I don't go.
And for the first time, I will say this week, first time ever in my life, I was proud to live in Kansas. Because, see, I'm originally from Florida, baby. I'm not Florida, California. I'm originally from California. And when I first got to Kansas, I was like...
Right. I can believe that.
I don't understand this at all.
I can believe
I didn't know where the people was. I was just like, where are the cities? Where are the streets? I don't understand this. But this week, I'm like, it is a good thing to be in the middle of the map. Because look, the fires was coming this way and the storms was coming. It's beautiful out today. I mean, we went to the Renaissance Fair. It's nice out.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad to be in the middle of the map today.
Today.
Oh,
I'm
poor
proud
state.
to be a Kansan. Where Irma can't bother me.
That's right.
Poor Florida. We were just in Florida Matter of fact, that's when my wife went and picked up the baby
Right.
from that area.
Yeah.
My mom was like, "He got the baby out just in time."
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the truth.
Yep.
Wow.
Who would have known what would have happened with
Yeah,
that
and
situation?
then been stuck. Oh my
Right.
goodness, that'd have been terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that was good timing.
it was. So all right, well, we've diverted. Wow. I guess we can move on to what we're supposed to talk
squirrel.
about. Right.
Squirrel.
Squirrel. Okay. We'll get a little squirrel and put it across the street.
Right.
I need to find somebody. Hey, is it a graphics designer?
Right.
A little squirrel to go across my screen. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna let you take it.
Well, the topic for today is diversity within the community. So, you look around. You know, when I first came to Kansas, and when I was really starting to get active within the community, I volunteered at the Lesbian and Gay Community Center. And it was the perfect thing for me because I got to see all the different groups that gather in Kansas City.
Okay.
So, like, we had, a lesbian group that met there once a month and had, like, a get-together. Then we had, like, a lesbians of color get-together. And then you had the Leather Boys. And then you had the Bears. Then you had, it was just the youth group. Mm-hmm. It was a lot of little pockets of groups.
Mm-hmm.
And so today, I just wanted to encourage everyone to step out of your comfort zone just a little bit.
Yeah.
Because what I see happening a lot, and I don't know if I don't think it's just a Kansas City thing. I think it's an all over thing.
Could be.
Is that you click up with people who are like you, and you never step out of your zone.
Right.
And to be honest, I've been pleasantly surprised when I do step out. Especially when you're a person of color, there's sometimes a little fear that comes along with stepping out of your box.
Right.
Because you don't know how people are going to look at you, accept you, even within the gay community.
Right.
So I will never forget one of my very good friends who happens to be a trans white guy invited me to Sidekicks, which is Kansas City's country gay bar.
Right.
And I'm like, bro, you want me to go to Sidekicks?
Bro.
Oh yeah, come on down. You'll have a great time. And I'm like, bro, look at me, bro. Like, seriously, you want me to go to Sidekicks? He's like, you'll have a blast. Don't even think about it. And I went. Had a great time. Had a great time. The wait staff was friendly. I hadn't up until that point never country line danced in my life.
Yeah.
But I got pulled out there and was dancing and learning the boot scoot boogie and all that stuff. And I first of all, I love cowboy boots. So that was exciting because I was like, ooh, look at them boots, ooh, look at that pair of boots. But I just had that fear, like, these are white gay cowboys. What do I have? What business do I have infringing on their party time?
Yeah.
But it wasn't like that at all.
Right.
It wasn't like that at all. And everybody was super friendly. And I've gone back several times since then.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to encourage people, we can get real cliquish.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong to me with being in a group. I'm in a couple of groups,
Yeah.
Lesbians of color group that I enjoy those girls. Those ladies are so sweet. We have a great time. We do little community stuff and we have fun, But sometimes it's important to step out, and truly see the diversity of what it's like for other people.
Right.
And I know you're going to elaborate, but I just want to say there's a reason why. Like with my friend, I'm like, I had to go back and forth in my mind, like, why would I go there? why would I go to this place? That, they probably don't want me there. What did I gain from going?
Right.
Well, I'll tell you. First of all, it lessened my fear of people different than me.
Okay.
Okay, so like I said, I've gone back several times since then. And I walked through the door, I don't feel any type of way. It took away that fear that I had because, okay, I've been here, I've met these people, they're friendly, they accept me, I'm good, And I'm not saying that every experience you have is going to be as great as mine.
Right.
You might not have some good experiences, but the experience opens you to what it's like for other people. Because to be perfectly honest, up until, well, I'm old now. So probably been about 15 years. I didn't know there was such a thing as a gay rodeo. A gay rodeo. I'm like, first of all, I'm from the city. We don't do rodeos, and I'm just like, what? Like, there's gay cowboys?
Yeah.
This ain't just Brokeback Mountain. They just, I was like, seriously, that just blew my mind. There is a gay rodeo.
And I've yet to get to go.
And I've been to the rodeo,
Uh-huh.
but I have not yet been to the gay rodeo. And I'm just like, this is cool.
Is it this month? What's it last month?
I don't know.
Oh,
Don't get me lying.
Okay.
But, I just want people to know that there's more to life than the same crap you do. And I have to say, from my perspective, we as people of color, we got that real bad.
Boy. Yes.
And I think it is because of fear.
Yeah.
Even within the gay community, I think it is because of fear of not being accepted, or somebody saying something out the way to you, or, whatever. But I just want you to know that it will not only broaden your mind, I think it'll broaden you spiritually to be able to meet and make friends that don't have the same perspectives that you do. And I think it will broaden you to new experiences and adventures and opportunities. If you would just, take somebody up on an offer to do something that you don't normally do. And then don't be a negative Nancy when you get there, okay? You if you're the person in the group that's like, I don't know why we going here. I don't know, why we got to do this. These ain't us. If you that person, then you go ahead and stay at home.
Yeah.
You haven't evolved enough to get something out of the experience, and you're going to bring everybody else down.
Right.
But be open to it. The first time some 6 foot tall white guy with a cowboy hat on invited me to dance, I was like, sir, first of all, I don't country dance. I don't know what to do. Don't worry about it. I got you. You just look. I got you. You just do and follow. And we were out there spinning and twirling and everything else. And I was laughing. I was having a good time. But I had to open myself up to get there.
Yeah.
Because that had never happened before.
I don't think I would have.
That had never happened before. But I'm saying, if you don't try, you'll never know.
Man, that's true.
You'll never know. And I mean, I laughed till I cried. Because I was laughing at myself for messing up. I was laughing at him for even attempting, to try to get me to learn this stuff. And I mean, it was fun. It was fun.
Well, I did that in Wichita, believe it or not. I met a white girl. Excuse me. Because we were both trying to get in the military.
Oh, okay.
But I couldn't go because of my heart.
Oh, uh-huh.
So she just couldn't. I don't know what happened to her. But anyway, so she invited me to Wichita. So I hopped on down to Wichita one weekend, and we went to a bar there, and it was just pretty much white. And there was, they had a mixture of music, and then when they did the country music, they dragged me out there on the floor and showed me how to do that line dance. And it's funny, I can do the line dance, but I can't do all these other dances, like, you know, that bus stop and then all that stuff. And, you know, I just like, I don't know if it was because I was younger and more adventurous then, and I was like, I don't really care, it's fun, you know, and now I'm like,
right,
get out there. Grumpy. Yeah. I'm an old grumpy old man right now. But you know, 'cause my wife likes to do all that, and then I look at it and I see it's all girls out there all the time, you know, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. But I mean, you're right when we have our own little cliques, and for me, because I'm always like doing something, I have to make that effort.
Yes.
So like even with when the minister invited us, I was like, I'm going. You know, I'm in that mindset that even though I have like a ton of homework, I just have to make time to do things because, you know, I still have a wife. Now we got a baby. So you definitely have to make time for your family. And homework gets done when it gets done. That's how it is, you know. But I know I have deadlines.
Yes.
That I have to meet.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're in the midst of juggling about 1,000,001 things. I totally get it. But, you know, there are so many. I remember I went to Chicago's Gay Pride with my cousin.
I want to go.
And we went to the parade. The parade was 3 hours long. I mean, we had our parade in Kansas City. We might have went, 4 blocks?
I don't know. I've never
turn
seen.
Around, go back another 4 blocks.
They don't even have it anymore.
Oh my goodness! No, we haven't had a parade in a while.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was 3 hours long. I mean, it was a group for everybody. I mean, I saw Scottish gay people marching in their kilts. There was at least 4 or 5 different groups of just service people. So you had the police, the gay police on horses, the Mounties, and then you had the police, you know, with their police cars, and then you had the lesbian police officers, then you had the lesbians on horses, and I was just like, this is crazy. Like, if you think of any type of group ever, they had it, but with gay folk. It was crazy. I mean, and the floats were so big and elaborate, and, you know, of course, all the bars, they had that. But, I mean, just to look and see, I mean, whatever you're into, if you are African American / Asian American / Latin American who likes to quilt on the weekends with leather boys, they had a group for you. I mean, it was that crazy. It was just like a ton of groups. Now, I know Kansas City, we've got our little groups, and I think if I were to break it down, now tell me if I'm missing anybody, but we've got the sporties, who you got the football, baseball, and softball. That's huge. You know, the lesbians, they got taking over softball. Then you've got the those that click off into church groups, and the music aspect of that, you know, and they kind of all know each other and run in those circles. You've got, like I said, you do have the leather boys and the bears, but the leather boys, strangely enough, some people are just into leather. They're not necessarily gay.
Okay.
But, you know, they enjoy leather, they enjoy wearing it, they like, you know, whatever. They got their own group. Then they've got you've got the drag community, which is huge.
Yeah.
You know, the entertainment community. It has its little subsects.
Yes.
You know, for the queens, the kings. There's something new that they're calling bio kings and queens, which means you perform as yourself. You're not a character. You're not Like the people like sing live. You're not trying to portray a character or dress in drag. You just get up there and perform as yourself. So that's
Really?
bio kings and queens is what they're calling that. Yeah.
See this look, right?
Yeah, you look you look like wow. But I mean, okay, so we've got somebody in Kansas City by the name of Roz Smith.
Yeah, I
Roz
know
is
who
a
Roz is.
saxophone
Yeah, I know
player and
Roz.
she sings. So Roz would be considered a bio
Oh.
queen or king.
I'm like, yeah. See, now I'm confused because who's the queen and who's king?
Well, I guess that depends on how you identify. But it's just people who entertain us themselves. They're not in character.
All right.
You know.
My brain.
Of course, you have a huge trans community, and and I see efforts for them, support groups, and them. So then you have the youth.
Yep.
Through passages. I've seen a rise up in the past few years of the gay and lesbian sororities and fraternities.
Right.
That's interesting and kind of new.
Right.
For me, it's new. Now, lesbian, gay sororities and fraternities have been around for quite a few years. I remember way back, I'm talking about AOL back, when the internet, when we first started, doing chat groups and stuff. I remember getting information out of Atlanta that they had some gay fraternities and sororities. And, they were just for college students who wanted to, have that community or whatever. But, like I said, did I miss anybody?
Nah, I think you got it all.
For our little Kansas City, I think that kind of, you kind of got those that are hippies. Kind of hippy dippy, which the non-spiritual lesbian and gays. It's a lot of them, but I haven't really seen them click into groups. I know they're out there, and I know that there are gay witches and lesbian witches and trans witches. But I don't know if they are in group. I don't really, know about that.
Yeah, you don't really see that a lot.
Right.
But of course, you would see that more now.
Yeah. I mean, some of these groups you kind of gotta look for it.
Right.
But you've got groups is the point.
Yeah.
And within our big rainbow umbrella, where we're trying to be inclusive and really learn to love one another and gain a deeper understanding for one another, I think it's important that sometimes you step out of your comfort zone. And that doesn't mean that, like I said, you may go and feel like, this is really not my thing.
Right.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Nobody wants you to get into something that's just totally different from what you want to do.
Right.
But if you don't go, keep an open mind and try, you will never know.
Right.
And you'll be lacking.
Yeah.
You'll be lacking, because it is my mission and it's my hope that as we all start to interact with each other more, that we will see each other as just human. And that can't happen unless you're building relationships with people who are a lot different than you. Yeah. With people who, who don't do the normal 9 to 5 things that you do.
Right.
And then one last thing. I was listening to a story today on NPR about a young lady, a young African American woman, talking about her hair.
Okay.
And she was talking about growing up, sitting between her mom's knees, getting her hair relaxed, and how she went through that process, and then her hair started thinning on the sides, and she was getting teased at school because, they called her Sonya Bald Spots.
What?
And because she had, thin spots from where her hair came out.
Kids.
Then in the 20s, she discovered weave, and so she started putting in weave. Then finally, she discovered wigs. And it took her this whole process and this journey to get to loving herself and to loving her hair and to loving the way she looks. And she was a very fun and eloquent speaker. I thought she did a great job. But I thought to myself, for African American women, that's kind of like rite of passage.
Right.
I think we all, after a certain age, we all had to sit there at the stove or at your mama or grandma's knees
Yes.
and get your hair combed. It's a communal experience.
Right.
I can go out here today to the grocery store right now, find some woman 40 or up, and we can have a whole conversation about getting our hair done when we were young.
Right.
Because we got that in community.
Right.
But I'd like to know, what was it like for Native American kids? You know, what was your growing up experience like? Like, I just because I do hair, I know that some of them don't get haircuts until it's a full moon. You know, I know that there's certain little nuances of different cultures when it comes to their hair. And it's just like, I just think it'd be fascinating to know.
Yeah.
You know, like, this was my experience that I share with this whole group of people.
Right.
What do I have in common with you?
Right.
You know, if you're Asian, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Asian women are only allowed to get certain haircuts. You know, so 1 out of maybe 10 styles is what they're allowed, unless you're of a certain culture.
Really?
And so I'd like to have that conversation with somebody to know, you know, what was it like growing up for you? Did you want to wear your hair like that? Were you forced to wear your hair like that? You know, and that seems innocent and simple, but it pulls us together, because then it's not a my thing I'm holding on to and a your thing over here. It's an our thing.
Yeah.
We all had to get our hair combed when we were kids.
Yeah.
It's different for different groups of people.
Right.
But we all had to get it done.
Yep. Yeah.
You know, did you have to sleep on rollers? Did you have to sleep in foam rollers?
Why do I saw some commercial, and it looked like the girl had rollers in it, those twisty rollers in their hair, and they're doing it like it's a really new thing. And I was like,
we've been doing
that for a long time. Wait a minute, but I guess it's it's new to them.
Yeah.
And I mean, they made a lot of money off of it. Like, it's really
right.
I'm like, wow. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
But when you talk about diversity in different communities, even within, like you said, within our community, it's almost now like diversity is a bad word.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that for a lot of people, letting go of what they believe about folks is difficult, because there are people within the community that do not believe that you can be gay and be Christian.
Oh yeah.
You can be gay and have a relationship with God. You know, so then you have those people who have that mindset, and it's so ingrained in there. That's some psychiatric stuff that has to happen for them. But they have to be willing to open up to it. And so for a lot of people, we have those things within us about certain folk. And we have to be willing to open ourselves to the experience of knowing somebody else, of a different culture.
Right.
Now, I will say this. Minority people have an up, I guess you might want to say it, on white people. Because we've had to learn how to deal with them.
Yes.
We've had to learn how to work around
Adapt.
their attitudes and their behaviors. And so we know a little bit more about them. Now, we might not know about them personally. Like you say, what was it like for you growing up? Did you just wash your hair and blow it out? I mean, what was that? Do you put grease in your hair? Or do you put, those things? We don't know. I mean, we pretty much guess you don't put grease in your hair.
Right.
Like put mousse in your hair.
Right.
Some gel in your hair. If you spike it, you don't really put stuff like we do. Right. But there's a lot that we've had to learn because they are the majority race. you might want to call it the dominant, because they're not like the majority like they, but the dominant race does not have to learn about other people.
Right.
Now you have to, if you're a social worker or those kinds of people where it's required, because I'm taking social work classes too, and I've had to read the bylaws and the ethics clauses and all that, and you got to know your culture, of the people that you're working with. So, other than that, it's I think it's hard for them to understand. Perfect example. The talk. The commercial. The talk. They got so angry about that. That's not real. Yes.
Yes.
It is.
It is.
It's real in every black home in America. Probably real in every Mexican home in America. Any person of color, not any, but the majority of people of color have to have that conversation. You have to build your kids up. Even when she was talking to her little girl, you're not pretty. What did she say? You're not pretty because you're black. You're just pretty. That's it. You're pretty. And we just have to, get beyond some things that's within us. That's the only way we're going to ever be the human race.
Yes.
Which is what we are.
Yeah.
There is no black race, no white race. That's man-made.
That's
right.
A
social construct to separate people and to control people. But we're not here for that lesson. But diversity has become an ugly word for folks. They don't want to hear about diversity. They don't want to think about diversity.
Well, and I feel like sometimes guilt goes along with that.
Yeah.
Because, my own personal guilt always comes at the expense of Native Americans. I feel bad because I'm like, they got the rawest deal.
They did.
They got the worst deal ever in America.
Yeah.
And it's just like with this whole DACA and immigration thing. I'm like, we are all immigrants. I saw a t-shirt today. We are all immigrants. We didn't come from here.
Right.
You were born here. And yes, culturally, we have differences. Culturally, we, like a man's construct, we have separated into tribes and groups and things like that. But at the basis of who we are as human, we all want the exact same thing.
Right. Exactly.
We need food, we need water, we need shelter, we need a place to call home, and we need community.
Yeah.
We all need that. I don't care what color you are or what sexuality you are. There are certain things that we need as humans.
Yeah.
And we all want and need those same things. Now, culturally, there's a lot of little divisions. But my prayer and my hope is that as we open ourselves up and really truly listen to people that are different than us, you'll understand how much we really have in common.
And that's the key.
Yeah.
That's the key to becoming the human race, is understanding that, like you said, we all want the same thing.
Yeah.
We don't want our boys out there getting shot and shooting each other. That's not something that African Americans just dream about happening.
Right.
That's not what we want. And
That's
true.
You
have, it's unfortunate, but you have gay people that discriminate.
Yes.
Against other gay people.
Yeah.
They just have that within them that you are less than, and whether it be white against anybody else, or, stud saying that's wrong for a stud to be with a stud, or a femme saying that's nasty for a stud to be with a stud. There are just these differences that we choose to put our mouths on.
And that's the key. Choice.
Right.
You chose to be like that.
Right. Because it's not hurting you. How is it hurting you that these two women love each other? What is that doing to you? I don't understand it. It's like when I walk into a store. People can choose to turn their nose up at me, or people can choose to say, there are people that look at me and I know what they're thinking. I know exactly. Now, like with the baby now, and me and Charlene, like we're out at the store, right? I got the baby. You see me from the back. You see me walking with Charlene. You think, oh, cute couple, right? From the back. You get to the front, you like, oh. Oh. Well, how did that happen? And she must have carried the baby. You know,
you can see that wheels turning in their head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like we're here just trying to live our lives the best way we know how.
Right.
Trying to make things better for our next coming up. You know, just like everybody else. Yeah, there are a lot of gay families. There are gay people that have children. There are gay people who got together that had children when they got together. You know what I'm saying? They came in with kids.
Right.
And they're raising them to be the best that they can be. It's not something that nobody wants their kids to be failures.
Yes,
Nobody wants their children to be out there in the streets selling drugs and doing all these things. Nobody wants that. Gay people, when they look at their kids, they don't say, I wonder if they're going to be gay or trans. Or they just say, I wonder if you're going to be a doctor.
Healthy.
Or what are you going to be? You know, healthy. Are you going to be able to really be who you are?
Right.
Can I help you develop into that person? That's what we're doing. It's just like any other family that's healthy. A healthy family is just going to say, what can I do to make you be all that you can be?
Exactly.
To be the best human being you can be. And that's it. And if we can get past looking at stereotypes of each other, then maybe
well, that's gonna
we can do it.
That's gonna come from the relationships, you know, and you hear and we get all these signals around us that these group of people are this way.
Right.
Okay, until you meet someone.
Right.
Like I said, a gay white cowboy. Who'd have thunk?
Who'd have thunk it?
I didn't know. You know what I mean? Till I met one.
Then she twirling on the floor. I wish I would have seen that.
It was so much fun. He was a fun guy. Yeah. You know, and I was just like, wow, where have I been? Well, that I didn't know that this group even existed.
Right.
And I'm gonna prove it to you.
What are you gonna do? You gonna do this? You gonna do the dance?
No, I'm not gonna do the dance. But I'm gonna prove to you that we have the capability to rise above.
Okay.
Because look at what happened during Hurricane Harvey. That right there is proof. We have the ability to come together and to rise above and to stop seeing groups when it's a tragedy. Because look at what happened. When Hurricane Harvey struck Texas, I was seeing pictures of police officers with white people, brown people.
Right.
I saw a hillbilly and a Hispanic who barely spoke English on a pontoon boat out there rescuing people.
Hey.
And I don't think neither one of them could actually communicate with each other very well. But let me tell you, they both were out there helping together. You know, and that's how I know that we have the ability to do it, but not until sometimes we're forced to.
Right.
Or we got to be put in a situation of compassion for other people. You know, when I look at what happened as soon as they came out with the trans ban.
Yeah.
For the military. Then all kinds of allies started popping up.
Right.
I don't think that's right. Straight service people was like, I don't care if the person next to me is trans.
Right.
You know, people started speaking up with DACA. You know, it wasn't just the Hispanics population that was like, don't get rid of DACA.
Right.
When you saw those protests, you saw people of every color.
Right.
Don't get rid of DACA. You saw business leaders stand up.
Yeah.
You know, all kinds of people, because we realize the value of diversity. So you've got it in your gut. You've got it in there.
Stop fighting it. I got to put a little damper on something, though.
Okay.
Ruby Rose. Ruby Rose gave money to what is that? Sorry, something happened. But anyway, Ruby Rose donated money to. I gotta turn this because I don't know what's going on.
That's not that.
Oh, hold on. Let me pause this for one moment. Okay. So Ruby Rose donated $10,000 to the LGBTQ Disaster Relief Fund. And it's managed by Montrose Center, which is a Houston-based queer advocacy group. People were pissed. Why are you donating to them? All of a sudden now you're just donating to them. And she said, well, I'm not sure if you know this, but they give money to everybody.
Yes, that's true.
They don't care about your sexuality. And for me, this is why I say we have to look in ourselves and be honest with ourselves about what these beliefs that we hold. You know, we want to put what we believe on other folks, and you have no clue about what you're talking. You know, just flapping your gums and mad. You mad because she gave money to a place that's gonna give money to everybody, right? Because we know the Red Cross has little issues.
Right.
So I'm just saying, when it comes down to that, I think I got heated. I really got heated because I'm in this class. Then somebody said something about gay Christians. I was so heated, you know, and I'm like, why is it so hard for you to believe that I would want that relationship?
Right.
Why is it so hard for you to believe and accept that? And I feel that, you know, sometimes we, in our mindset, we can put what we believe on other folks and make it impossible for that person to be themselves.
Yes.
And, you know, forgive me if I'm wrong, but that's the first step to getting to know somebody, is to allow them to be who they are.
That's right.
If you can't allow people to be who they are, you're never going to know who they are. You're just going to know a fake front mask and be happy with that. I'm through. I'm done.
Okay. Well, I'm done too. I just, like I said, it's been on my mind because I'm looking at these tragedies happening, these storms, and you know, it was just like what happened with 9/11. When it's your life on the line,
Yeah,
when it's your life, you don't care.
You don't care.
You know, them Klan folk that's out there, that, you know, if that storm is coming through and you're trapped in your house, you really don't care the color of the person coming to help you out of that situation.
Right.
You can care about that later.
Right.
You know, but in that moment, or if it's the medical staff.
Right.
You know, I seen a very powerful picture of a Klan member that was shot, and he still got on his hood and all his Klan robes, and he's laying on this gurney, and the doctor and the nurse that are working on him are African American. Powerful picture. Because it's like, look, if we can come together on what's important, like these storms and life things happening and tragedies, then we can come together in times of peace.
Right.
What you got to do is, just like you said, get out of yourself.
Right.
Get out of yourself and get out of this thing, oh, I'm better than.
Right.
I'm better than you.
Right.
You know, and I don't have to associate with people. I'm better than you. You know? No.
Right.
You know, we're all human, having a human experience.
Right.
You know, this is a journey for each and every one of us.
Yep.
And the sooner you get on the path to enlightenment, the better your life is going to be.
Yes,
Stop looking down your nose and judging other people.
Right.
Because they don't live like you live.
Right.
And they didn't grow up like you grew up.
Right.
You know, get to know them. Find out what do we have in common with these people.
Right.
And then have fun.
Yeah.
It ain't always got to be a task.
Right.
You know, and that's what's so sad to me, is that we come together in tragedy and then that's it.
Yeah.
Go back to your own little group and you'll never, you know, speak to nobody again.
Right.
You know, and we got it bad within our own gay community.
Yeah.
We got to do better, y'all, you know, and challenge yourself. Start small. Say, before this year is out, I'm going to take my partner, I'm going to take somebody else with me, and I'm going to go to such and such. You know, I'm going to go there. You know, I've never really been into sports, but hey, I'm going to go to one of the, the what's our group called? KC Crunch?
I
The
don't know. I'm
semi-professional
sorry.
football.
I forgot. I knew it.
The semi-professional football ladies team we have here. You know,
Yeah.
I'm going to go down there and support those girls one time.
Yeah.
You know, and you will be surprised. Because trust me, if you're the leader of a group, you are so excited when you see new faces.
Yep.
If you're the leader of any group, you know, I don't care what it is, when you see new faces coming in, new people, new energies coming in, nothing makes you happier than to see that. And they will be welcoming to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so be a little adventurous.
Yeah.
You know, it can't hurt you.
Nope. It can only help. I was trying to find them, but I don't know. If I can find it,
We'll
I'll
find
put it
it
in
for the next podcast.
I'll put it in my little story that I write there.
There we go.
I put it in there. Well, anything else to say?
I'm good.
All right. Well, we good, and we out.
Yeah.
I'm Spiritual Stud.
And I am MT, baby.
Peace.
Peace.